Hi everybody, welcome back to the Astral Irma channel. I'm Jacob Angelakis. Today we are going to be talking about Artemis II and the mission to the moon, the alleged mission to the moon. Okay, the Artemis II mission is nothing but a show for the masses, and they are swallowing it hook, line, and sinker. NASA uses CGI and green screen technology to fool the masses because they take everything at face value and they don't look deeper. And the cabal launching it on April Fool's Day is a clear sign that even they're saying that it's fake. See, they have a rule that they have to show you the truth in plain sight. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice the cabal doesn't mess around with dates. They do very specific things on very specific dates. Take 9/11, for example. That's not a coincidence. 9/11. For those who don't know this yet, the Earth is under strict control by the Galactic Federation. They have ships all around Earth sitting there 24/7 that specifically look for any other ships trying to leave Earth. See, there is a law in space that we must be contained to this planet. Unauthorized space travel is either intercepted or blocked. In addition to that, there are the Van Allen radiation belts that are not naturally survivable. Having a rocket go through the Van Allen belts would be like putting a can of soda in the microwave on high for 3 days. Nothing inside of it is going to survive. No electronics, no people, nothing. Okay? No matter what anybody tells you, there's no way that rockets are going through the Van Allen belts unless they have advanced frequency-based technology. And rockets don't have that and never will. So any public mission going to the moon is either not actually going where they say or heavily staged and simulated. Now, I'm not saying that the rocket is fake or that the launch is fake or that the people are fake. All those things are really happening. They're just not going where we're being told that they're going. All we see coming from space agencies is green screen, CGI, or partial truth. See, real space activity exists, but it's classified in secret space programs in the black projects. Okay? So Artemis II is seen as a show for the public and an attention trap for the NPCs in the unawakened starseeds, but it's not the real operation. Real space travel exists, but it's not for the public to know the truth about it. The SSP uses advanced craft that have frequency-based navigation, not rockets. That's how they can travel through the Van Allen bands. Chemical rockets like NASA uses are considered primitive and symbolic. The SSP has technology thousands of years ahead of rocket technology. So if real spacefaring tech is far beyond rockets, then Artemis II is not real exploration. Now let's talk about the technology itself, because this doesn't add up. We are led to believe that, we haven't moved past rocket technology in the past 60 years. Are you kidding me? We're being shown massive rockets and explosions, fuel burning just to push something into space. When you really think about it, it's incredibly inefficient. It's brute force. It's like trying to cross an ocean by strapping fireworks to a boat. So the question becomes, is this really the best that we can do? Or is this just what we're being shown? Okay? More advanced methods of travel exist. Okay, methods that don't rely on burning tons of fuel and blasting off the surface. We see the technology in our skies every day. It's the UAPs and the UFOs. They are our SSP and Black Project technology that I'm talking about. Compared to the SSP technology, what we're seeing with something like Artemis II looks less like cutting-edge technology and more like a demonstration. It's all a performance. There are operations happening beyond Earth that we're not being told about. This is what they're trying to cover up, okay? There are missions, technologies, and interactions that exist outside of the public narrative. And what we're seeing is just the surface version, the version that's meant to be seen. Because the people running these systems, the one behind the scenes, they don't do things randomly. Timing matters very much to the cabal, as does symbolism. So when you see something like Artemis II being launched on April Fool's Day, you have to look at that differently, because that's not just a random date. That's a date built entirely around deception, around tricking people. It's about presenting something false and seeing who believes it, okay? So what does it mean when a major historic mission lines up with that? You have to at least consider the possibility that it's intentional. The cabal controls all big events, especially for NASA. And it's not just about the mission, it's about the message. Because it's almost like it's being said right out in the open. This is a show, and we're telling you it's a show, and you're still gonna believe it, okay? Missions like Artemis serve to reinforce the idea that space is just beginning for humanity, and to make you think that governments are in control of exploration. And it distracts from existing off-world activity, extraterrestrial presence, and advanced hidden tech. So Artemis II is used for perception management. This isn't really about one mission, it's about a bigger framework. Earth is a controlled environment. The moon is part of a frequency control system, and space agencies are part of a layered disclosure system. Truth is mixed with fiction to manage perception. So, when you put all of this together, Artemis II stops looking like a straightforward mission and starts looking like something else entirely. It starts looking like a controlled narrative, okay? A way of reinforcing a very specific version of reality. A version where space is still out of reach, where humanity is still just beginning, where progress is slow. Because as long as people believe that, they won't ask the deeper questions. They won't ask what's really out there. They won't ask what's actually possible. And they won't ask who's really in control. And this is where the idea of perception comes in. Because reality, for most people, is what they're shown. It's what they're told, what they can verify through the systems that already exist. But if those systems are controlled, if the information is filtered, then reality people experience is already shaped before they even start questioning it. So something like Artemis II fits perfectly into that. It doesn't challenge anything, it reinforces everything, and it keeps the story going. And again, this doesn't mean nothing is happening. There are launches, there are rockets, there are real components. But the story around it, the destination, the meaning, that's where things get distorted. It's a mix. Just enough truth to make it believable. Just enough illusion to keep the bigger picture hidden. So when you look at Artemis II through this lens, it's not really about going to the moon. It's about maintaining the idea of what the moon is, okay? It's about maintaining the idea of where humanity stands. And it's about maintaining the boundaries of what people believe is possible. And the April Fool's connection just pushes that even further, because it turns this whole thing into something almost ironic, like the truth is sitting right there, hidden in plain sight. So the real question isn't whether a rocket launches. The real question is what you think you're watching when it does. Because there's the event itself, and then there's this story being told about it, okay? And those two things are not the same. Once you start seeing that difference, everything changes, because now you're not just watching events, you're watching narratives. And you start asking a different question. Not, is this happening, but is this what it looks like? And that's where things start to open up. Because once you realize what you're being shown might not be the full picture, you start looking beyond it. You start questioning more, and you start noticing patterns. And from that perspective, Artemis II isn't just a mission. It's a very clear message to the masses that whatever they're shown, you'll believe. And whether people see it or not, that's the part that actually matters. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.